Well, today the nation's favorite four-legged weatherman came out of his den and predicted 6 more weeks of winter. For the last 129 years, Punxsutawney Phil gives his weather forecast to a crowd in southwestern Pennsylvania. And as our Scott Sheehan tells us, the celebration is more about tradition than forecast accuracy.
Punxsutawney Phil says 6 more weeks of winter.
It's a German-Pennsylvania-Dutch tradition in southwestern Pennsylvania, where morning festivities include speeches, plays, skits, and music. As WJJY's local meteorologist Stu Muck says, the tradition dates back to far enough where Pennsylvania German dialect was the only language allowed.
If you spoke English at the time, you ended up paying a penalty, like a nickel, dime, or quarter per spoken word, and that money they saved on the table and used to fund some activities in the village. So it's a really neat old tradition, but like I said, doesn't really have a whole lot to do with weather.
Also, as the tradition goes, Punxsutawney Phil comes out of his stump. If it's sunny out, he will see his shadow and return to his den, signaling 6 more weeks of winter. However, now Phil has handed over those decision-making to his two-legged handlers.
There is, believe it or not, the Inner Circle of Gobbler's Knob, a group who makes Punxsutawney Phil's decision before he's ever brought out. And it is a ceremonial event where they take him out of a cage and show him off. It's much like the Groundhog movie from the early 90s.
Groundhog's Day organizers say Punxsutawney Phil is correct 75 to 90% of the time. However, other research says he's barely half that accurate. Either way, the first day of spring is 47 days away, or a little over 6 weeks.
A Canadian study for 13 cities over the last 30 to 40 years found that weather patterns predicted on Groundhog's Day were only 37% accurate. And the National Climatic Data Center, they described the forecasts on average inaccurate and stated that the groundhog has shown no talent for predicting the arrival of spring, especially in recent years.
As the tradition continues, more cities have added their own furry four-legged weathermen, but the original Punxsutawney Phil warns us to bundle up and prepare for 6 more weeks of winter. Scott Sheehan, Lakeland News.
Groundhog's Day became a pop culture icon during Bill Murray's 1993 movie Groundhog's Day, where he relived the same day over and over.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.